Hi, DJT here from Dance Party 24/7. Today we're going to go through run through the layout of a mixer. This is the mix we're going to go through today. I've chosen this one because even though there's a lot of buttons on it, they are duplicated. Many of them are duplicated. It's probably a little bit easier to go through than some others. So on the left hand side, let's start at the left. We have the mic input. That's where the XLR for the mic lead will go into there. Then you have a trim on the top of here, and then you have the high frequencies, so you can alter the high frequencies, the mid-range of your voice, and the bass of your voice. In my case, I'll turn the bass down if my voice is a little bit bassy. You have your on-off button for the microphone itself. This is not currently switched on, but that would light up. We have here the talk over button. What this does is when you actually have it switched on, which up to more this end, what happens is that the music will be dipped when you talk, and then when you stop talking, the music comes back on. And this is the strength of how much the music will dip below your voice. I turn it down like that. I don't really use it that often, but if you wish to use it, then somewhere around about here, the music will dip quite significantly, and then you can talk over it and be heard clearly. Turn that down. Here we have a stereo mono for your headphones. So I'll go into one ear if you're wishing to monitor through one ear, and then use one ear for an actual speaker to monitor through. Or stereo, more likely if you're going to mix through both headphones left and right without listening to an external monitor. We have the mix here, which is basically if you're to listen to the actual track you're mixing. So that would rotate that way, and you'd hear the track that you're trying to mix in, and would cut out the actual track that's playing on the master. And that one there in the middle is a mix of both. And if you're wishing to listen to more of the master, then you go to the right hand side. So that would normally stay in the middle, to the left and to the middle. That's how you'd be using that one. And this is the volume of your headphones, up and down. And this is the headphone socket itself here, where you'd plug your 1/4 inch jack in this case. Some of them have 1/4 inch jack, some of them have 3.5mm, some of them even have both. So if you look on the main part of the mixer here, there's a lot of knobs and switches, but they all pretty much do the same job. So if we went through this channel here, then it's exactly the same on this one, and on this one, and on this one here as well. So at the top here, we have a line in. So that one in case it's phono or CD, so the phono for your turntable, or CD, or line in. If you've got a phone, if you're wishing to connect up as well, you can do that. So you can choose which input you're choosing from. And there's the same on here as the microphone. We have the trim. So there's the actual extra little volume control, up or down. It won't completely mute it, it won't completely go high, but it will just give you a little bit of more finesse, a little bit more control in terms of the volume coming into the line in to this channel. Then you've got your frequencies. You can mix your frequencies or reduce them or increase them. You've got your high, your mid, and then your low, your bass levels here. Then we have a button here, so if you're wishing to listen to this channel when the actual over the mix, so if you listen to this channel here to cue this one in while you're playing another song, you would press that button there, that would light up, and then you would use this button here to get the balance where you could hear this track being played and mixed in. So you're cueing and mixing before you actually bring it in live into the mix. This is the channel fader. So when this is down, there's no volume going out. When this is up, then you'll have volume going into the master, and then you'll be able to mix. So there's no sound. Well, I'll turn that down. We go down. So that's the same on all 4 of those channels. So that's the main part of your mixer. So the majority of those controls we have now covered. Now this is called a club mixer. There's 4 channels, 4 inputs. So we go down here, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can play 4 sources of music. In fact, actually you can play 8 music sources, depending whether you're wishing to choose a line in or a CD or phono, because they're all slightly different. Okay, so if you look here a bit closer, that one's phono and line in, that one's phono and CD, and that one's phono and line. So there's those 2 CDs and 2 lines inputs there, so you can put your CDJs on here. You can put even CDJs on your line in. Doesn't make that much difference. So down here we have a section basically is how you would mix. You can mix with your crossfaders and you can mix with your channels as well. So if you're wishing to put a song to start a song off, and this is the song you're going to play first, you'd put that up like that, and then here you can assign the crossfader to which channel you're wishing to actually to have on the crossfader. So this is going to the left, and we're using this one here, for example, and that one's on the right. Then we assign that to channel 2, and we assign this one to channel 3. So there's your 2 channels there. And then while this is to the left, nothing will play on channel 3. Bring it to the middle, they're both in, and bring it to the right, then you're just channel 3 is playing. So if you're mixing and you do a nice smooth mix, you'll be across like this. There are other ways which you can mix. We can have that to the middle, and you can use your faders up and down, so you can bring it in that way if you're wishing to bring track 3 in. All sorts of different ways you can mix, but that's what those buttons do there. We also have kill buttons here, which kill the frequencies, actually reduce the frequencies down off the high, the mid and the low frequencies. So if you're just wishing to bring a vocal in, for example, you take the high out and the low out, and then you just have the mid on here. So you're bringing this track in, so this for this side and this is for this side, so that's playing full, not a problem. You bring this one in, and then you just have more of the vocals, the mid-range bringing in, then you can bring in your high range, and then you can actually bring in your tops. You can do that the same here as well. These are not complete kills, but they will give you more control, more finesse in terms of if you want just a little bit of vocal. So that'd be the same effect there. So you would have basically the more of the mid playing, and then you can bring in your high, and then you can bring in your low accordingly, depending how you want to mix. So those are the kills, there's your crossfader. These are the lights that flash up, but obviously when everything's going, I wouldn't worry about those. Each mix is slightly different, excuse me wobbling. Again, here we have obviously the kills on this side. So let's go to this side of the mixer. This is what we call the master output. This gives you LED level of the music, and you're looking to be around about 0 dB. We'll bring in there 0 decibels. Each mix is slightly different. Some mixes actually can go above 0, and you're still not going to get a distortion. So why that happens, I don't know. But if you look at general terms, if you go to 0 dB, you won't be in distortion. So when the music's playing, the LEDs will flash up accordingly. This is your master output. So it's very similar to these channels here. So if you have this track playing over here, and you'd have that across there, so it's playing. That is your master output. So that's the volume that's going to go out to your PA system or to the room, however you got it set up. That will probably distort because it's going above what it normally would expect to do. And then most mixers, probably somewhere around about 8 or so. Again, each mixer service is slightly different, but definitely on this one, around about 8 out of 10 is around about 0 dB. So then it would be flashing up here on 0. Okay, and these also, go back over to here, I forgot to mention that these are also a line input for the music. So that music comes in and it's hitting 0 there, and you have I have that about 8 there, then it will be hitting 0 there, as long as my trim is at 12 o'clock. If my trim is higher, then I'll probably be a little bit above 0 here, and I'm likely to be a little bit above 0 here. However, what this does, this limits, it won't go above 0. So you're not going to damage your PA equipment or your monitoring system. So that would work your sound out. Very quickly go to the right hand side here. This is like a surround sound button, so it gets you like a wider sound on the stereo sound, and then that is the on off for that, and then you can go more or less. That gives you BPM readouts. I really never use them because some are more accurate than others. If you learn to mix with your ear, or you're using BPM counters, then these, you probably wouldn't really use these, but it gives you an indication, I'll say at best, of your BPM of the track you're playing. So down this side we have the effects section in here. This is where you can preview the effect. Same as these buttons here. you can preview any of these. So that previewing your master sound, that previewing channel 4, and if you're mixing between 2 and 3, you're probably using these quite a bit here. So that would give you an effect, so you don't have to actually play it out across your main PA. You can see what the effect will do and how it sounds. This would give you the source, of which where you're going to put it to channel 2 in our case, or you want to put the master, or just even do it over the vocal. So let's put it to channel 2. This gives you the display of which actually effect you're going to put out, and this helps program it so it turns around, spins around, and then you press it to engage the actual effect you want. And this is the level of how much effect is going to go over that channel. So that's that there. To switch the actual effect on, because that won't do anything until you actually press this button here. This one in this case is lights up blue, and then you can put the level of the effect on. So actually you could have that switched on, and down at the bottom what's that, 7 o'clock, isn't it? And then there'll still be no effect coming across the channel until you start moving it. Okay, so you can actually do it like that, turn it on, and it already be at a level like that. Or if you want to be more progressive and bring the effect in gradually, you can turn that on and bring it up accordingly. Another couple of buttons need to mention. This button here is the CF curve. That's the crossfader curve. So there's a little arrow here, and if you bring it to the left, what that does is basically makes it more soft. So when this is in the middle, and this is in the middle here, the music will actually dip. If you see that little symbol there, okay, it actually dips in the middle. Excuse me, hay fever. If you have it more to the right, if you're going to down there, you're going to be, see how it's basically is a little line, straight line across. Looks like a little table, to be fair. What happens as soon as that comes off there, then the music for in this case the third deck is assigned to the crossfader, then that will come in straight away. So that'll make no difference to there, and it's only right at the very end that track 2 will go out. Or you can have it so somewhere in the middle. I like to have it somewhere in the middle, so the volume is probably just dipping just a little bit in the middle. Remember, you've got 2 volumes coming through here, so you don't want to overload the master out to go above 0 dB decibels. That I have it just a little bit less than about 11 o'clock, I suppose. It's about 11 o'clock there. The other one we got here is your master balance. That's left, and who's going your left speaker. Right would be your right speaker. So if you wish to play around with some stereo sound effects, then you can do that. But most of the time, I'll just leave it there, to be fair. And this one down here is a booth. What the booth does is a separate output, whereby if you're wishing to monitor your mix without actually listening to the main PA, you're going to have another set of speakers coming out to the back through a line out, which I'll go through in a minute. What will happen is here is you can turn that up, so you can then monitor. You've got your own little sound bubble, so you can hear what's going on. You're not listening to the sound reverberating around the room. It's a more accurate level of sound for you to mix to. So you've got your own little booth level here, so it's another like a little master output. Put there. Again, need to be careful on that, because this one you can again go into distortion somewhere about, get about 80% thereabouts, which works out to be about the same as 0 decibels going out. So you can have that, depending how loud your system is, you can have that addressed accordingly. Okay, let's have a look around the back here. You have the on and off button. You have your kettle lead power in. Like we just talked about with your booth, there you go, there's booth. You have a master output, these are the outputs, so you have master output, booth output, and tape output. So your master is basically, so your master is what you would normally send to your main PA in your room. So that would be the main speakers that everyone would hear. Your booth is what you would hear in your own little sound bubble. Make sure that obviously your mixing is going actually spot on. And then the tape is literally, you can tape yourself, record yourself. This level is normally the same as the master out. So you can't change the level of that independently, but it's governed by what you do on your master level. You have an effects as well. You can actually do effects through this mixer. You could have a send and receive, where basically have a line out to the effects machine and back in again, and you can able to do effects. And these are your main 4 channels. So you got 1, 2, well actually go that way, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we have here is we have the line input and the phono inputs. Remember, we could change them on the top, we can click between the two, so that's where you'd put your phonos in, your phono cables in for each of them. So if you want to do CD on the first one here, you could do CD into that one, or line into that one. Again, there's not a lot of difference between these. What you can do here though is you can actually have them, the phono ones can actually change, and if you press that little button in there like that, press it in, then that also becomes a line in, so you could have CD on that one, CDJ on that one, accordingly. So actually you could have 8 CDJs equivalent on there, or you could have those 2 out and you could have 6 CDJs and 2 turntables. Also notice the 3 buttons on the top here, 1, 2 and 3. They are for the phono, for the earth. You unscrew them, move around like that, there we go, move around. If you unscrew it, you actually put in the earth cable on there and tighten it back up again, and that will earth your DJ turntables. And we've got 3 on here. Okay, as you can see here, we have some music coming in on line 4. It is going to around about 0, in fact maybe a little bit hot, so let's bring it down slightly to 0. Let's bring it on again, let's put some music on again. So there it is, it's coming in, music there coming in at 0, and it's going out at picking no more than 0, it's just a little bit below. Setting the settings here at around about 8. I know it's definitely not going to go above 0 decibels there, so it's not going to affect my PA system. I have my Crossfader across assigned to channel 4, and that's how I listen to the music. Let's have a look at the back, all plugged in. So we have the power in here to switch the machine on, and it's switched on currently, and this is the booth out currently. Yeah, the booth out. Yeah, because this is one I prefer to use. At the moment I just have this hooked up as my personal sound system, so I don't really use the master. It's just easy for me to lean over and just use the booth output, but you could have put that straight to the master, and that goes to the amplifier. And then we have here is a line in, so let's use this just for the computer at the moment, and just give some music into my PA equipment, so the line in comes from the computer into here, into the music or whatever I'm listening to. Thank you for watching this far. If you like this video, give a big thumbs up, it helps the old YouTube algorithm. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified of when the next video goes live. Also, hit us up on Dance Party 24/7 on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. See ya.